Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon, and welcome back to Marotta Media. First off, I apologize again for my absence. It's just been a very busy 2 weeks with work and whatnot. You know the deal. But I do have some videos planned for this week. There's a big movie coming out this weekend. You know which one, so I'll definitely be giving my thoughts on that. And there's also another movie that I watched last week that I also wanted to make a review on. But today I will be discussing my thoughts on one of my most anticipated movies of 2022, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent stars Nicolas Cage as a fictionalized version of himself. In this movie, he is down on his luck and cannot seem to get any more roles in movies, so he decides to quit acting until he is invited to a birthday party by a superfan named Javi, played by Pedro Pascal. But while he's there, he gets mixed up with the CIA and learns that Javi may or may not be involved in a kidnapping plot. Now, I was looking forward to this movie because I'm a big fan of Nicolas Cage. I mean, who isn't? He's been in a lot of bad movies recently, but it's come out that he did those because he had debt to pay off, so I mean, more power to him. But he has been making a comeback in recent years. He was in Mandy, one of my favorite movies of 2018. A very slow first act followed by an absolutely bonkers second act, one of the best I've ever seen. And he was also in Pig, one of my favorite movies of last year, where he gives one of his most nuanced and personal performances to date. And I think it's safe to say that Massive Talent met my expectations. I really enjoyed this movie. One thing that I was expecting from it is just a lot of laughs, and I absolutely got that. This movie is hysterical. There's a lot of references to Nicolas Cage's previous movies, such as the aforementioned Mandy, Face Off, Con Air, and there's even this alter ego that he has, which is just a younger version of himself and his character from David Lynch's Wild at Heart. Now granted, I've never seen that movie, so I can't really compare the two performances, but his shirt says Wild at Heart, and he looks exactly how he did in that movie. But either way, whenever he showed up on screen, it was very funny, but he didn't show up nearly enough as I feel he could have. But most of the laughs are due to the incredible chemistry between Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal, and it makes for such a great buddy movie, and I could definitely see these two starring alongside each other in a movie like this down the line, because they really do have phenomenal chemistry together. And while it is a buddy movie, it also has shades of a spy movie as well as an action movie. So it mixes all these genres together, and it does it in such a ridiculous way that it's impossible to take this film seriously. It's very campy, but it knows it is, and I really do like when movies are self-aware. But Massive Talent is not self-aware to the point where it's so stupid that it feels being self-aware will excuse that. It knows what it is and it runs with it, and that's the best way to do it. But seriously, this plot is just so insane. There's scenes that involve shootouts, there's scenes that involve espionage, there's scenes that involve just friendly banter between the two main characters. Particularly one scene where the two of them are sitting by a pool and Javi is just so nervous to be sitting next to Nicolas Cage because he's such a huge fan. And it just leads to this awkward back and forth, but it's done so well. But that being said, while I did have a lot of fun with this movie, it did leave me disappointed in parts as well. There were certain plot points that felt very rushed, like they could have taken a little bit more time to develop them, but instead they just choose to end them in a very silly way. Particularly the ending. I won't get into spoilers, but just as the ending was getting really good and climactic, it just resolves itself immediately. And I was like, okay, that was pretty funny, but I wanted more. It was getting really, really good. But at that point, the movie is basically over, and it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. While I did enjoy myself, I was like, that's really how you're gonna end this thing? I mean, come on, there had to have been a better way. And this is probably a little bit more on me, but also has to do with the marketing of the film. I expected this movie to be a lot more bonkers than it actually was. I was just expecting it to go off the rails any second and become overall batshit insane, but that point never came, and that really disappointed me. It's one of those times where the trailer is just edited in a certain way that makes it look a lot more action-packed than it actually is. And I feel that choices like that may have doomed this movie for some people, because I guarantee that there were others who were not as lenient as I was when it came to that. They were probably expecting just a non-stop action thriller sort of movie, and that's not what this is, unfortunately. But when the action is there, it is a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, and the movie is just overall carried by Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal's performance. But overall, this movie really did not disappoint me. I thought it was a lot of fun, and this is one that I could definitely see watching with some friends and just laughing and having a good time. And overall, I would give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent an 8 out of 10. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. If you guys saw this movie, let me know what you thought about it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? If you guys like this review, be sure to hit that thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. If you want to see my previous reviews, I will link those right over here. Other than that, I hope you all have a tremendous rest of your day. I will see you all next time.